Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a terrible, gloomy, rainy day here today, and I don't really want to do anything except sit inside and watch movies, but unfortunately I've got stuff to do in the car, and if I don't post a video this week, YouTube's going to shadow ban me, and then you won't get to see my video next week, and it's going to be a banger, because that'll be the actual drift event. But today we are working on the Skyline again. So I mentioned that I had a whole bunch of yellow wrap, and also I have a little bit of carbon fiber wrap, because the original plans with the Subi were to wrap it yellow and black like a bruised banana. But unfortunately the yellow ended up being ugly, so I just figured I'd keep it with a nice blue. But I've had that wrap sitting in my old garage for probably a year and a half now. So we decided to actually put it to good use, and I was going to wrap the hood of the Skyline carbon. And it was going fairly well until we realized that the wrap is old and weathered old wrap doesn't like to be pulled and stretched, and especially because it has actual carbon fiber texture in it. Don't mind this, we're actually cutting it off at the body line. But because it's actually got carbon fiber actual texture to it, it basically just ended up ripping, as you can see, at the seams of the carbon. So when we tried wrapping the bonnet, it just completely shit itself. So what we've decided to do now is we're just going to wrap the middle part of the bonnet, just so there'll be like a nice carbon sort of, you could call it a stripe. Does my camera want to focus? No, it doesn't. There you go, bud. So we're just going to wrap the middle sort of, there's a little bit of a bulge in the hood. On the Series 1s, it's not very sort of prominent, but I'm hoping with the carbon, it'll make it a little more prominent. And then the rest of it, we're just going to wrap yellow, but I won't have time to do that before next weekend, so I'm just going to leave it with the carbon for now. So far I've done a little bit of the hood. I need to do the other half of the hood today, as well as lift the car up. I'm going to do a full oil change and fluid change, although I've realized that I didn't bring my jack stands to the new house, and that stuff has been taken down to New South Wales, so we're not going to get that. So I'm going to go to Super Cheap now and buy some more jack stands, and also pick up a fire extinguisher while we're there, because it's always better to be safe than sorry. So that's the mission for today, get it drift ready as much as I can, have a look under the car, see if there's any issues or anything, make sure it's all mechanically sound, and hopefully we shouldn't run into too many issues, but knowing me, there's going to be a lot of issues. Also, for anyone who's interested in the new car, here's your hint for what it is. I'm sure you can probably look up that part code and find out what it is if you're actually interested, but as you'll notice, it does say Toyota and not Nissan, which anyone who knows me is very much out of the norm. I should be picking it up next weekend anyway, and I'll probably make a video on it, but there's your hint for now. If you really want to find out what car I bought, you can look up the part number and find out what motor it's for. With that being said, if you do look up the part number and find out what motor it's for, it's probably not exactly what you're thinking. It's a little more unique than like what you'd originally be thinking of, but it'll definitely give you a good idea of what sort of car it is. Just because it's bothering me, I'm actually going to work on the wrap now, just try and get as far as I can. It takes bloody ages to wrap cars, so while I've got some level of daylight, I want to actually try and get that done, and hopefully get at least another like quarter of the way, just so I've done a little bit on it today as well. My phone died midway through the second time lapse there, but we eventually got it all done. It looks like shit, it's overstretched. You can see it's really overstretched there when I was learning, a bit over there in the corner. I managed to actually sort of do our little, whatever you want to call them, windshield washers there, although it's overstretched around there as well. Because it's carbon fiber, it's really fucking obvious and looks terrible, but overall I'm sort of happy with it. There's bubbles all through it, but I mean, it's a drift car, it's not supposed to look pretty, and from a distance I reckon it'll look alright. I've still got to sort of tuck it underneath a bit more there, and then I'll just cut out the body lines, and hopefully it'll look a little bit better. It's chopped up now, so it's all bloody straight and actually looks, well, not necessarily nice, but at least it's straight now. I didn't realize until the wrap came off just how little of like a bump in the bonnet you can actually see with it. Either way, I'm happy with overall how it turned out. I'm currently looking at maybe wrapping with the spare wrap I've got, doing my mirrors or something, because I've got a whole bunch of spare wrap from the scrap of the whole, because I had a big piece of carbon to do the whole hood, and then it broke and turned to shit. So I'm going to salvage as many pieces as I can and maybe do the mirrors, try and do like the boot spoiler or something, I don't know. But for now, overall, it doesn't look great, but also it doesn't look completely terrible, so overall I'm pretty happy with it. Now I just got to imagine everything that's white looking yellow, and it'll maybe look a little bit unique and a little bit cooler. I've allocated all the extra usable wrap I can, so I think I might try and do both the mirrors and then also the top boot spoiler. It's gonna look terrible, but it'll be something at least. I've also been trying to figure out for a while now what to actually name the car. Normally I'll give them like an actual name, like in the Subi's case it was Kyle, because it was a bit of a Kyle's car. But I finally figured out a fitting name. The wrap is yellow. It's an R33, so obviously it had to be some sort of like HMS boat name or something like that. I am gonna get a Banana Boat sunscreen sponsorship, and this will be the one and only true Banana Boat. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A new day has dawned. I got a little bit carried away wrapping the car last night, ended up doing a whole bunch more work on it. It's a public holiday today, so I've got a day off work, so I figured I'd just get around to doing the other stuff. Today, went to Super Cheap, got some jacks, got some other stuff that I needed. But as you can see here, so we finished the bonnet, that's all cut up and looking all right. Started doing one of the mirrors as well. I still need to clean that up, and I've also done just the little sort of boot lip spoiler here. I think it looks all right. I've still got to do the other mirror and also fix up this one, but apart from that, jacking up the car, changing fluids. I bought a fire extinguisher as well, just because I'd rather have one and not need it than need one and not have it. Well, I'm definitely glad I haven't tried lowering the coilovers even more, because as I've found out, even having it this low, I can't jack it up with my $50 cheap little jack. So I'm gonna have to look at either getting another jack or getting some planks of wood to actually put the jack on top of, so that, or put underneath the jack, sorry, so that I can actually get it high enough to put the jack stands under there. Because even jacking it up all the way, it's a pain in the ass first of all, just because it's low, so I need to drive it up on wooden planks. But the jack also doesn't go high enough to actually get, because these are some pretty big, hefty, bloody car jacks. So I'll need either a better jack or some blocks of wood.